I want to welcome you to the module one. Um, this being long anticipated. So I hope you went through the overview of what this series is gonna look like. If you haven't, please go to my YouTube channel and see what the series is gonna be like. Okay, so this module one, I'll be talking about a computer. Like I said, it's not going to be in depth because my goal is actually to bring you to speed with the basics so that you can see a computer and identify a computer. So that is the goal. My target are beginners, people who may be seeing a computer, don't know what a computer is, or you feel like, okay, um, you're guessing, you're not sure. After this module one, you will be very comfortable with what a computer is. Okay, so let's get it started. So let me ask you a question. What is a computer on your own? What do you think a computer is? In your own definition, there's no right or wrong answer. In your definition, what is a computer? How best can you describe a computer? Okay. Um, yeah, you're thinking maybe not. Okay, let me go to it. So, in a plain language, a computer is an electronic device. It's an electronic device that processes data and perform tasks based on instructions. So that is a computer. So it is an electronic device that processes data that are imputed in it. There are data that are stored already. It processes them. It performs tasks. What you type, it performs it, and you are able to see the instructions you give to it. Maybe to run a program. Those are instructions. So basically, computer is an electronic device that processes data and it's able to perform tasks based on the instruction it is being fed. So now we know what a computer is. What is a computer made up of? Like you can see on the screen already. So these are different kinds of computer. What is this computer made up of? Yes, you're right. Softwares and hardwares. So if somebody asks you what are hardwares, from the word hardwares, let us not go into grammar, English. Let us try to understand the meaning of the word hardware. So when something is hard, it means it is physical, it is strong to touch. So when you touch it, it feels hard. So those are hardwares. If you touch, for example, I'm touching my computer right now, I can feel it. It is hard. So these are hardwares. So the physical parts you can touch, like if you see on the screen, like the monitor, like the CPU, like the keyboard, like the speakers, like the mouse. These are the things you can touch in a computer, right? So these are the hardwares. Then the softwares are the programs and the operating systems that tells the hardware what to do. So if these physical parts of the computer that you can touch, it's the hardware. The software, from the word soft, you can't touch them. They are the programs in it. you can relate with this program. So these programs and operating systems that tell this hardware, say, okay, you click on something, it you click on a program, it runs the program. What is making that program to respond? The operating system, right? So these are the software. They tell the hardware what to do. For example, Microsoft Word. Most of us are familiar with Microsoft Word. If not, you should be familiar with it by now. Most of your documents, you type, you have a report card, you have a result sheet. Most of these programs were produced with the help of Microsoft Word. There may be other programs that were used, but mainly growing up, I grew up knowing Microsoft Word as document and Word document. Yes. So now we know what a computer is. It's an electronic device that processes data and perform tasks based on instruction. That is the general word. Then we know that it is comprised of the hardwares and the softwares. And the hardwares, you don't have to cram it. Just try to think about it. So the hardwares are the physical parts you can touch, like what you're seeing on the screen. You see the laptop. These are physical. You can see them. You can touch them. You can feel them. The keyboard, the mouse, then the software are the programs that run. So if you see on the screen, these these are programs. These are web. You see the web. You see um, music icon. You see Wi-Fi icon. You see email icon. So these are programs that run in a computer. So these softwares tell the hardwares what to do. They tell the physical part what to do. It's like a human being. You touch an hot object or a hot object. Something happens. There is a relay of message from the point of touch to the brain. And the brain interprets it that, oh, that thing is hot. It's going to burn down. It sends a response. And that response is either to throw it away, put it in a safe place, or keep holding it based on the interpretation it gives at that point from the message that came. So it look at this message. Oh, it's a broken plate that has food in it, and that's the only food I have to eat. If you throw it away, it means you don't have any more food to eat. Okay, can I sustain some more time? Can I take more time? Can I keep up this pressure to safely keep this plate so that I will still have food to eat? This whole thing will happen very fast. It interprets and sends a message, then the output will be whatever reaction to that um, input. It is the same thing with the computer. You input something through your hardware, it sends a message to the CPU, it processes the message, then it displays an output in your monitor. It's either carrying out an action, so it works the same way. So now we know what a computer is, we know what hardware are, we know what softwares are. Now let us, and we can also list examples. See what are examples of hardwares. You can say the keyboard because you can see it, you can feel it. The speakers, you can feel it. You can. Most laptops they have inbuilt speakers, but if you go like underneath, some of them they have embedded. You can see the embedded speakers on. You see it around. It's sure somewhere. So in those days where we were growing up, were exposed mainly to desktop, where you have to connect external speakers. Those are hardwares. You can feel them. And the softwares, you may not physically touch them unless you have to use an hardware to either install or otherwise. But you cannot physically touch them, but you can see them. You can see how it works. It it controls what the hardware does. It sends a message to the hardware and say, okay, do this. It tells the hardware what to do. That's what the software. And what are examples of software? The Windows are there, Windows 365, MS Word, Google Chrome. Many of us, what's if I ask you what's your favorite browser now, you tell me, oh, it's Google Chrome, it's Mozilla Firefox, name it, it's Edge. Those are softwares. Even your antivirus. I'll say, oh, I think my device is corrupt. I need antivirus. That antivirus is a software. It's going to tell the hardware what to do. So when you install an antivirus and you scan, it's simply telling the hardware, please scan for any malicious activity or thing in it or application and take it off, take it out. So I'm sure we are comfortable with what a computer is, what an hardware is, and what a software is. You don't have to cram this. You just play with it. These are things you see every day. You will be seeing them for a long time because the computer age is here. So you don't have to cram. Just know what they are. So these are different types of computer. I'm sure we have our favorite brand. I have my favorite brand. They're very expensive. So I use what I can afford right now. I believe you have the same thing. Examples, we have the desktop. I grew up using the desktop. My brother got one. That was where I started getting exposure to computer. When he goes to work, I dodge and enters his room. I turn on the computer. I was getting curious. I started learning from very early. Like I started playing with it. Sometimes he'll come back. Somebody came to touch my computer. Who did this? Uh, bros, sorry, it was me. I was just thinking, it was like, okay, come and sit down. What do you want to learn? What do you want to do? Most times we wanted to play games. We weren't actually curious about learning a lot of things. We just want to go and play game. Yes. Even your video game, that's a computer device. You don't know it? Yes. These are some will say, oh, it's electronics. Yeah, electronics with lots of softwares running in the background. That's a computer, an hardware and a software doing magic. Your pad, it's like a mouse. It controlling things. You sense and input, it works. So these are computers. There may be different types of computers. So I have the common ones that we're familiar with, that you hardly go to a home where you will not find any of this type. The desktop may be facing out, but the businesses are coming back because the era of big desktop occupying spaces are gone. So we're finding a way, producers are finding a way to innovate, to make this micro as well. So there are lots of different kinds of desktop right now that are easy to move around. Then you have the laptop, we have different brands, we have the MacBooks. I am a big fan of MacBooks, but I am used to my Windows. I love my Windows computer. We have different brands. I am not here to advertise for anybody. We have iPads, the iPad series, and guess what? Your mobile phones. Yes, that's a type of computer, your smartphone. You have a computer. So those days we didn't have the technology to carry computers around, but now you do. You have different kinds of smartphones, phones that you carry around. Yeah, you're carrying a computer, so you can do a lot with your computer. So now we know what a computer is. We know what a computer is made up of. We know examples of different types of computer. Let us proceed by seeing the basic components, the basic hardware components of a computer. What are the key parts? I'm not going to go to every details, talk about the screw in it. No, I just want to talk about the basic things to give you a general knowledge of what a computer is. So what are the basic components? We've talked about the hardwares like the keyboard, the monitor, the screen, where whatever information you are sending in, it's displaying from, you can see it. We've talked about the mouse that has different buttons. You can see it has the right button, it has the left button. They have different functions. Then you can see in the middle there, it has the scroll bar. They all have different functions in a computer. So when they ask you, can you list 5 key components of a computer? You should be able to say yes. The mouse is there, the monitor is there, the keyboard is there, then the CPU, the central processing unit. This is like the brain of the computer that processes the information. There are lots going on inside the CPU, trust me. But you will get there when you are comfortable with knowing what a computer is. So, like I made an example with the brain responding to stimulus. You touch an object, either cold or hot. The brain interprets it. It receives the signal. So that signal travels to the brain, to the central nervous system. It the brain interprets and says, okay, that's called hot or cold. That's dangerous or that's nice. That is soft. So the same way the CPU does. So when you input a signal or a message or an instruction into the computer, the CPU processes it, then interprets, which is seen in the, it's not necessarily interpreting, it's just um outputting the instruction you have sent in the monitor. So you see the display in the monitor. So the monitor is the display screen. We've talked about that. The keyboard is what you use to type. You now we have virtual monitors that you can display on your screen and just tap from this by, by seeing it on the monitor. Then you have the physical keyboards as well that you can type and you see the output on the display on the monitor. So we have the mouse and touchpad. If you see the keyboard, the laptop, you see the touchpad. Yeah, that also works. It serves as a mouse because you can hover around it. It has 2 buttons, some has 4. You can right click, you can left click and carry out the functions designated to those particular keys. Then the printer is also a computer. You have a document, you have produced the document, you want to see the physical document. You have to send it to a printer and you print it out. So the printer does the work by outputting those documents or images. There are different kinds of computer. Even when you take pictures, you print it out. That's a printer doing its job. You see the image is replicated. So now you have an idea what a computer is. So that is basically the computer and you, the operating system. So this is like the software in the computer that manages both the hardware and the software. I told you that the CPU is like the brain of the computer, right? Interprets information and sends out an output. So these processes only is possible through an operating system. And there are different kinds of operating system. We have the Windows operating system. We have for Windows computer, we have the Mac operating system for the MacBooks, the iPads, Apple products, to be sincere. Then we have Ubuntu. There is this other operating system called Ubuntu. It is widely used because it is cheaper to use. It has more accommodation. Most industries use it as well, but we're not going to go into that. We're going into the Windows. We'll just talk about the Windows because it is likely what you will be getting exposed to in your everyday life. So the operating system actually coordinates these activities between, it manages these activities between the hardware and the software. So for the Ubuntu, yeah, that's the Linux computer. Yes. So it manages the hardware and the software. You put in a message through the hardware, you see an output. I'm just trying to use layman languages for you to actually be able to relate to it, to understand that, okay, this is what is happening in the computer, right? So we've talked about a lot. Now, the operating system, what is actually its main function? It just runs programs. It runs programs. All the programs that exist in the computer, it runs it. Without the operating system, it's just like your leg, but not your physical leg. The operating system is your mind. So the operating system of the computer is the mind of the computer. It runs all the different programs that exist in the computer. Are you able to relate to that? Yes. It's like the mind runs everything that happens in the human being. So it's a user interface that runs all the programs, manages all the files. That's basically you're asking an application to open the operating system, understands that it's okay. You sent a signal. It needs to open an application. The application open. You want to play game in your phone. That's the work of the operating system. You want to format your hard drive. The operating system does that. You send an input through a keyboard. The operating system sees the signals. Okay, you're trying to type. It starts to display it in the monitor. So it's just like that. You click in the mouse. The operating system understands. Okay, you're clicking. What's the message? It interprets it and displays it on the keyboard. Sorry, on the monitor. So that is basically all about the operating system. So before you start a computer, you turn it on. So if you see on the desktop, I did display the image on the desktop. So there's a button, you just turn it on, you press and it comes on. The same way after usage, you also have to safely put off the computer. Once in a while, I shut down. I don't shut down my computer all the time. I shut down. I put it to sleep. More frequently, I restart my computer, most especially when I do an update. I restart the computer to allow those updates to apply to the computer immediately. So when you start going deep into computer knowledge, you go into IT world, information technology, you start to see the importance of restarting a computer, shutting down, putting a computer to sleep. You see the differences. I'm not going to go um in depth on these things, but I can quickly tell you um some of the importance or relevance of these particular functions. Okay, let me quickly do that. Since I have the platform, I didn't think I was going to go into that, but I will just go quickly into that. Let me see if I can get maybe a short illustration for that. So this is basically all about a computer. If you want to turn it off, if you see your let's say you are using a laptop, your Windows program is on, you would see the Windows button. So if you click on it, you see this particular key that says turn off. So when you click on turn off, then you can complete the turn off. Um, you can complete turning off your computer. Same way with standby or sleep, you can put the computer to sleep. Maybe you're having a break, you want to quickly go out and you don't want to shut down your computer completely, you can put it to sleep. So you can, instead of clicking the shutdown, you click the sleep, or you can just press the power button once and it puts the computer to sleep. So the moment you come back, if you press any key, you wake the computer up. So you can just, if there's a lock, you put in your password and you continue from where you left off. But if you shut down a computer, you are putting it completely down. So if you're starting a new section in that computer, you are, if you are turning it on, you are starting a new section. You can go back to history based on the things you did with the computer, but it's still a new section. There is more to it though, but just know um the differences, right? So when you shut down, it completely shuts down the computer. All the programs, all whatever is stored in your RAM, in the random access memory, it closes everything. Everything. It clears every temporary file or whatever information, it clears it random. Whatever is in your RAM, it clears it off. So when you want to use that option, like I said, maybe you are done for the day, you are done for, maybe you want to travel, you want to leave the computer, or when you are having issues with your computer, you want to shut everything down, you shut it down. So yeah, that's like all about shutting down. Not all, to be honest, but there is more to it. But these are like the relevance, the importance, or when to shut down. But when you want to put it to sleep, like I said, you want to take a break, just quickly, you want to come back to what you're doing. So this act doesn't shut down the memory. You still have access to all your sessions. It preserves it. If you are working on something, you want to go back to that work. Yes. When you put it to sleep, you just wake it up and it's like you're taking a nap in you outside, you feel tired, you want to take a nap. You're still dressed. You're not gonna go take off your clothes, put up your nightgown and those kind of things. Right. So when you want to restart, that's a different ball game. So that's like you closing all the applications and you're refreshing your computer. So if there is an update or there are changes that have been made, it applies those changes to the new section. So that is what happens with um, that's what happens with restarting a computer. So that's basically what the computer is all about. So you should be able to identify a computer by now, the different types of computer, what a computer is made up of, and you should be able to talk about the operating system. What does the operating system do in a computer? You should be able to say, okay, these are the different kinds of operating systems of a computer. Then you should be able to talk about how to turn on a computer, how to turn it off, what shutting down a computer does, what putting a computer to sleep, what it does to a computer, and what restarting a computer does to a computer. So, yes, this is a general overview of a computer, and I hope you will try to, on your own, identify the hardwares, be able to identify the softwares. These are things you should do on your own, your activities. Please try to do these things. You learn better when you practicalize most of these things. And yeah, so that's all about computer. I hope you've enjoyed this section. If you like it, please support this page, send a like, send a comment. I want to know what you think. I want to know what your thoughts are. If you have a question, please drop it in the comment section. Please like this video. There are more of these series coming your way. To stay in touch, please kindly subscribe as well, and see you in the next module. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching.